Welcome to Comic Book Squares. We have another great show today. This is going to be another interview with an artist. My name's Shane.
I'm Paul.
I'm Ben.
And I'm Mike. Let's get this show started.
Well, welcome, Dan. Great to have you here. Why don't you do me a favor, just kind of give us your name and tell us a little bit about your book.
Yep. Hi, my name is Dan Membiela. I am currently crowdfunding my graphic novel Under God. It is a 44-page self-contained story. It's available on zoop.gg. And it is essentially the elevator pitch for it is a young woman's mission of mercy turns deadly as she learns the role in the oppression of the people she meant to aid.
Very cool. I love it.
That's
Interesting.
awesome.
So what made you decide to go kind of on a more controversial topic by including, religion in your book?
Well, all my work deals with social issues. So like Good Agent 1 through 7 is a Good Agent. I like to describe Good Agent as a street level vigilante who deals with social issues that are reskinned as another vigilante, a cult leader, a werewolf. But when you read the comic, it's all social issues is what he's dealing with. So that's just
awesome.
I think that all your art should be a manifesto. People should be able to look at your art and say like, yeah, he really thought that way, didn't he? So
Yeah, well, like some of the best sci-fi, I'm talking since forever, has been allegories for social issues or for whatever was going on in the world at the time. So I totally
Definitely.
get that.
Yeah.
I'd like to jump in. Like, how did you get started in making comic books? You have Good Agent, now you have Under God coming out. How did you get started in all this?
Yeah, thank you very much. But you all segued so well that I forgot the very first order of business. Thank you very, very much for creating this space and for allowing me to be on this space that you creted. I'm very, very grateful for it. So thank you.
Very welcome.
Of course, man.
Thank you so much. That's really super. That's
now the boring stuff.
Thank you for that. That's very nice. That's the exciting stuff, actually. we appreciate you being
Thank you
here.
very much. Thank you.
And all the work that you put into this project.
I truly
yeah.
am very grateful that you saw a need and you filled it and you let me be part of it. So I appreciate it very much.
Yep.
Thanks,
So
man.
I actually wrote comics in the 90s. But I wasn't very satisfied with the work. So imagine indie comics. I see a couple faces that might know what indie comics in the 90s looked like. So, a lot of bad girl stuff, and they were paying gigs and I was getting consistent work. But it wasn't what I wanted to do, and it really wasn't panning out as far as then sending out to other publishers and saying, well, here's a pitch for something I do want to do. Plus I wrote 20 sexy vampire comics, and they were like, yeah, I mean, everybody wrote 20. It's the 90s. Everybody's written 20 sexy vampire comics.
Oh yeah.
So ultimately I just got dissatisfied with that, and it must have been around 2000. I just said, no, I'm going to stop chasing this, and I'm just going to, I'll always be into nerdy stuff, but I'm just going to stop doing this. And then in 2016, DC Comics did the Writers Workshop, which I did not get into, but trying out for that and then thinking about it, I just couldn't get over how much I enjoyed. Oh gosh, this really feels good thinking about making comics. And and then in 2016 there was Comixology. There were so many other ways of getting your comic out there versus the 90s, which it was, well, throw away a few $1,000 and make a comic and good, may God go with you. I hope it works out for you.
Right. Yeah.
So I started Good Agent, and so it was 2016. The 2016 elections happened. Just a minute ago, I said that all my work has to do with social issues. Boy, did I have a bunch of social issues to process and use self.
That's a big club.
Yeah, art therapy,
club.
Self-medicate with art therapy. Yeah. So. That's pretty
medicinal purposes only.
Yes. So that's pretty much Good Agent, which I adore. I think Good Agent has legs, but Good Agent initially was just art therapy. So
then Dan took.
And then Under God
Very
now
cool.
is the first time I'm trying crowdfunding, which is quite an experience. Um, uh,
Yeah.
It'll be a week that the campaign is live. Tomorrow, it'll be 1 week and look at the toll it's taken on me. I'm 22 years old. So it's quite. It takes a toll, man. It takes a toll. It comes at a price. So
It's like that's right. It's like the presidency. All of a sudden, you age like a decade.
The campaign's only been live 6 days. What am I going to look like in 20 more days?
Hair come out and clumps.
Right? Yeah.
So yeah,
Oh my
actually
gosh.
I was clean. I was clean shaven when this thing started.
yeah.
Dan,
Yeah, I mean, I'm very, very close to funded. I'm less than $100 away from being
Awesome.
funded, so I'm very happy with
Oh,
that.
that's
with how
great.
it's going. Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah.
Nice.
So I just need a
Good for you, man.
last little push,
Congrats.
and we'll be funded. And then, I mean, I would love to work on my. I only have one stretch goal, which will come in at 200% funded, and that's that. 44 pages was not enough to get a square binding. Was not enough page count. So I'm going to up the page count with concept art and explanations of things. And then it'll be 60 pages or 60 pages plus, and it'll be every physical copy will be a square bound copy, and it'll just look so much nicer. So I want to get to 100% first,
great.
but then once that happens, I'm hoping for that 200. But 100 would still be wonderful.
That's awesome.
Well, I mean, when it's square bound, then you can
Very
fit it
cool.
on your
That's right.
shelf back there. with all the
Yes, exactly, exactly.
after that, Dan, then it's
There you go.
omnibus.
Hey,
Instead of
There you
just
go.
like slipping a little floppy in there.
So Dan, so you kind of told that you kind of shared that you started writing comics back in the 90s and things like that. I remember Shane and I go back Shane, 40 years, right? On and off.
Yes.
Yeah. We also are 20. We
Probably
also
more
are
than that.
22. So, but
How's your campaign going? How's your crowdfunding campaign going? Oh
It
man,
just started 2 days ago.
hey,
hydrate.
Let me put it this. Yeah, let me put it this way: we got in the DeLorean, and it's been great ever since. I mean, I too used to dabble. I used to draw. I never did any writing. I like to say I used to draw comics in the '80s. Now I don't care what the temperature is, but I just do the best I can.
Straight to jail. The police are coming to take you away. Right
Yes.
So yeah. I mean, that gets me to thinking about the creative process, right? So obviously you're doing 100% of the work on this. So at what point when you were creating this thing, how did you start? Did you say I can write and I want someone else to draw, or I can draw it, I can get someone else to write, or at some point, or was it early on or later on you just said, you know what, screw it, I'm just doing the whole thing myself? How did that play out?
The third option, screw it, I'm going to do the whole thing myself. So I used to also send out, before I got those writing gigs in the 90s. I used to send out art samples because I've always drawn, and but then I just felt like nobody's interested in that. And then when I got confirmation bias, oh, okay, writing I can get paid for, so I'm
Sure,
exclusively a writer. And then when I wanted to do it in 2016, I just thought, I'm just going to go for it. I'm just going to do the whole thing. And when I look at Good Agent 1 now compared to Good Agent 7, I think Good Agent 7, I was actually just looking at it to make sure that I had sent all the material over. I'm real happy with how that came out in September of last year. I'm very happy with how
21.
Good Agent 7 looks. Good Agent 1 is a little really how am I doing this? How do things work? I've got it a lot more figured out. I mean, I still have, of course, room to grow, but I have it a lot more figured out in a way that's much more satisfying to me than with Good Agent 1. So, but yeah, I just decided anything. I'm sorry, guys.
That's very cool.
No, go finish.
Yeah,
Finish.
I just decided anything part of the reason I do it all analog is in my rush to just do it, I thought anything new that I have to learn is an impediment to me getting it done. So everyone's using their their iPad Pro and all these different things,
Right.
and
Right.
and
Right.
I just thought, you know what, a pencil and ink is good enough for the old school guys. It's definitely good
Oh
enough for
yeah.
me. And
Hmm.
you know, I've
That's
done a
how
little bit.
that's how Kirby did it. So you know.
Yeah, gosh, and that's it's to keep aiming, and maybe one day
Right.
someone can get there. Like the,
Yep.
I mean, I've done a little bit of digital work, and you know, I'll probably do more digital stuff, but analog just works great for me. I
Yeah.
enjoy the
Yeah.
process. I enjoy the look of it. Plus, it's neat to have the pages, and with digital, you just
Yeah,
have
I
yeah.
yeah.
a
Hmm.
file.
You know, it's funny. Yeah, it's funny you mention that, right? So we've reviewed a bunch of books. We have quite a few shows that have already, you know, Shane's got to YouTube. We got a couple more that we've got completed that he has to do some post production on. But all the books that we've reviewed so far, um, I would say 99% of them, you know, we've got I've got hard copy. I to this day I can't get over like the smell. Like,
Oh
you know,
yeah,
some of these guys are like,
yeah,
"Oh, I'll get it on Comixology." I just can't do it. I got to have the physical copy in
yeah,
my
yeah.
hand.
I
And I
agree.
realized the digital would probably
Hmm.
save me money, but I don't care.
Yeah, the reading experience in paper is far superior. I mean the digital reading
Yeah.
experience is
Takes some
satisfactory.
getting used to.
You
It
you
takes
get
some
it
getting
done,
used to.
but
Hmm.
Yeah.
I think that comics also have that neat four-dimensional quality where like
Yeah.
I mean the peak example of it is Adrian Veidt stuffing the poison pill down that guy's throat. But the first time
Oh
you
yeah.
see it, it looks like the guy is a
Watchmen.
madman who's killing himself. And
Yep.
then later you realize, oh crap, and you look back and you're
Hmm.
like, oh no, that guy's getting murdered. Like, you know, it's that four dimension and you can do that
Yep.
so much easier. I
Right.
think in that
Yeah.
paper format than you can digitally. I mean, you can still do it
Yeah.
digitally, of
Yeah.
course, but
Oh yeah.
I think that flipping, you know, that's you like going
Oh
through
yeah.
time. You're
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
4D
Yeah.
Yeah.
creature, you
Yeah.
know, to this
Yep.
2D creation.
You know, and some of the books we've talked about, I'll get to the last page, and for one reason or another, I'll just say I got to flip back and I got to start over, whether it was good or I don't know what the hell it was I just read. In either
Right.
case, I'm going to flip back to the cover and start over again. It feels so good to be able to do that, you
Yeah,
know.
definitely. Yeah,
So
definitely. And I,
Instead of hitting the back button.
My,
yeah,
no, that's the
yeah.
wrong
Right. Yeah.
arrow. It's
yeah. Then double tapping. No, not zoom in backwards.
I think.
Yeah,
Yeah. Exactly. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
use two fingers. Okay, I'm using which two?
no.
Yeah.
I think.
So
I think Mike might have a question. You have a question, Mike?
that's all
Yeah.
right. That's all right. I'm waiting. I'm patient.
Paul,
I'm patient.
Paul, you're
So Dan,
monopolizing the time.
well, it
Oh, I thought
is.
this was Paul's show.
I
You
mean,
guys are still here?
Oh shit! I am so screwed now.
I
Now we got to
Right.
change the name and everything.
I think there is a PBS.
Paul and the
right?
Squares, I
PBS?
Yeah, I
think, is
look
the
at my
new title.
calendar.
I didn't see you guys.
The new
I didn't see you guys there.
Sorry,
Yeah.
but I digress. Dan, so early on you were talking a little bit about kind of your likes, and it sounded like you were, you know, very stuff that we can relate to, of course, you know, whether that be trying, you know, drawing, writing, trying different things, trying to figure out, you know, what space you wanted to work in. And, you know, you kind of, it sounds like that was very kind of a personal journey for you. And I'm just kind of curious, like you talk about a little bit about digital, you talk about, you know, obviously pencil to paper. So I guess, do you speak about your craft with like family, friends? Like, do you find that I guess where I'm going with this is, do you feel like it's more of like just a personal self, as you said, almost like a release of tensions and stress, or do you feel like there's community out there? I guess I'm just kind of interested more in kind of your personal journey, because a lot of times that varies very or quite a bit, you know, through the journey that got you to where you are right now. So I know, sorry, I was kind of babbling a little bit there, but I guess just what does that feel like, or what does that look like for you?
Well, I'm going to say everything you mentioned is correct. My family, every chance they allow me, I'm blathering to them about what it is I'm doing. I'm lucky enough to have a friend that I met in the third grade and a friend that I met in high school that we are friends with to this day, and we all have made comics together. So we talk about, oh, what are we going to do? How are we going to do this? Like, oh, what you're thinking of that? Actually, one of my buddies has his combined his story, and he's going to have a Source Point Press. It's called Doctor Rigby. Is the what the comic is? It's going to be a one shot, and that's coming out I think by October. So that's very cool. But yeah, so in other words, not only do I have my family that I'm always they all of my comics were done on a TV tray in the living room. So I've told, and they've many times, like my wife has said, like, well, why don't we set up like a drawing table here in this side of the house? And then I would say, well, I would have never gotten all of this done if I had to seclude myself from what's going on with the family. The thing that made me be able to do it was my drawing board on this TV tray. And then whatever the energy is, whatever's happening, I'm there part of it, and I'm making my comic. Where if I had to say like, well, all right, I'll see you tomorrow. Right. Now I'm going to go make my comic. Like I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
It would
I love
be
that, Dan. I love that.
Self-fulfilling thing.
Just
of
that
not
personal
having-
touch, man. That you're, you hold things valuable to you, obviously family and that support and friends. And so do you? Sorry, just one follow-up question, then I'll let the other guys get a shot. But do you, I know. He's giving me the evil
Paul's
eye.
waiting.
So did you? So you have you have a few
Sorry,
friends
Paul.
that sound like you kind of collaborate a little bit, and so you're bouncing ideas off of them. And I mean, is there something to where you are wanting to learn new things and you kind of bounce ideas off of them, or do you kind of just like, I don't know, some people are very competitive, like you just want to try to outdo each other, so you keep it more close to the chest type stuff, or I don't know, just I'm curious on that.
No, it's a very supportive. Each of us just so it's not so much that we're bouncing ideas off each other to create a third thing, but rather my buddy will say, oh, and I'm gonna have this in it, and we're like, oh, that. So we're just hyping each other up, like whatever. If someone says like I'm gonna roll it at 5 miles an hour, the other one says like roll it at 10 miles an hour, and roll it at 15 miles an hour. Like, we're just so it's not so much that we're bouncing off each other to come up with a thing or to change it or to proof each other, but rather we're building momentum for each other. So
Awesome.
Yeah, to have a support group like that that's supports each other, and you can feel a safe place to be able to share ideas. That's incredibly important. Ben, do you mind if I jump in? I got a quick question just about, you had mentioned, Dan, that you this is the first time doing a Kickstarter, and I think it'll be interesting for the viewers to know, especially if there's other independent creators out there that are watching this. Just talk about that journey, and I imagine that's way outside a creator's comfort zone, to put yourself out there essentially, and your ideas, and then how that process works.
First, I'm going to hit you with it. Well, actually, I'm not doing a Kickstarter. I'm doing a crowdfunding through Zoop. So.
Oh, crowdfunding, right. Oh, Zoop, right. Okay.
Right?
Zoop.gg is the website. Hit explore, and then there's Under God.
Oh.
But yes. So.
Okay.
And the reason I'm not doing Kickstarter, it has done such a great job that, like as many people have done, it's synonymous with crowdfunding. Excuse me. They also announced that they're moving to a blockchain, and I am very much against crypto and all of that nonsense. So I said Under God was gonna be a Kickstarter project, and I even still use language when I'm talking about Under God that is taken right from Kickstarter notes on how you should be talking about, because it was just good information. But then they said, we're going to blockchain, and I said, well, I'm not. So I said, well, where do I take my book? And many people said, where do we take our book? And Zoop said, at that time, they were like just a concierge service. So like John Paul Leon's Wintermen Artist Edition was one of the books that they were doing. So really just, excuse me, big high tier books. But they saw that, yeah.
Nice. That's interesting. That's interesting that Zoop kind of stepping into that space. This is the first time I'm ever hearing about Zoop.
Well, I bought
how did
the
you
John
discover
Paul
that?
Leon book. So then when Kickstarter said, well, we're going to help burn the world faster, I said, no, thank you. And then lots of people were asking, oh, well, I heard about Zoop, but they're only for big things. And Zoop immediately said, well, look, we're not set up. We are only set up to do these bigger concierge type service. We're not set up like that, but we hear you and we're going to look into it. And like a week later, they said, okay, we're ready. Start sending indie creators, start sending us your things. So you got to respect that they saw the need and they filled it. So
yeah, and to change positions that quickly, that speaks a lot about them.
Oh, sorry.
So,
no,
cool.
go ahead.
No. Well, I was just gonna say I have another friend who's doing a book, graphic novel as well, and he went to a different one, Seed and Spark. Like, so he's the same kind of reasons actually too with Kickstarter. So he, like apparently there's like a lot of these ones popping up to take the place of it.
So it's called promote that name again. What was it? Seed and Spark.
Seed and Spark. Yeah,
is not
it's usually
book,
for
the
film.
crowdfunding.
Oh yeah, that's the crowdfunding site. It's
awesome.
Seed and Spark, and so he's using that to do his book. It's usually for film or movies and stuff like that for crowdfunding those. But he managed to get his book on there as well.
Yeah, and that's another neat thing about Zoop is they're just all like 99.9% just comics, where Kickstarter is essentially. And I want to make a velvet poster. Well, throw it up on Kickstarter. Like,
wait, I could do velvet posters on there?
A velvet poster? Yes. Wait a minute. What is this velvet poster you speak of? Where is there a link that we could get to this?
Velvet Elvis.
That's a second stretch goal.
Yes.
Update.
Exactly.
I just added. I got the text. Let me text the Zoop guys.
Yeah, that's right. Once we get to we get to 100,000 and boom, it's the velvet poster comes out.
I was going to say that. I tell you what, we'll start working on that, Dan.
Where do I donate? Where do I practice?
Damn, I was
bearing the where do I sign up? So tactile.
Incredible. That was the market.
You didn't know that you had that one in your back pocket the whole time.
I did have one more question for you. So this book we were talking about the social issues and stuff that you're bringing up in there. What are you hoping for people to get out of the book once they've read it? What's the message you're hoping to impart?
So a couple different messages, but primarily the biggest message is the same message that runs through Good Agent, which is this concept of kind of like incremental good, that no amount of good is inconsequential. So even in the face of insurmountable bad, doing the one small good that is possible that you can do is worth it. It's always worth it. It's never not worth it. And it could be the butterfly wings that create the storm that
That's awesome.
have the synergistic effect that can change things.
That's awesome.
That's very cool, man.
That is awesome.
I like that.
So yeah, that's a running
like
theme in Good Agent. Actually, the first story arc kind of ends with that. That's like if you see me on Twitter at Hal Roth, my banner page is Good Agent saying I am the wings of a butterfly.
I've seen that. Okay.
Nice.
And then also speaking of Good Agent, I don't know how much time we have, but I did see a couple of your YouTubes, and I thought I saw one where, and I'm so sorry, I don't remember the name exactly, but it had to do with Aries, and I thought, oh man, is this what I'm walking into? Because this is not what I'm ready for. I hope
That
we're
was
just
the
not
Bell kill zone.
Yeah,
That's the
there
Bell
you
kill
go, there you
zone.
I was like, oh
Yes, it
no,
was, yeah.
oh no, what's
Yeah.
what's happening?
Oh no.
No.
Yeah. I hope to gosh we came across as
Fair.
as supportive as we could be. I mean, you still have to be honest, and not everything that you read is going to be your favorite thing in the world. And I hope we were still supportive of the artists
And nobody
that
was
were working
and
on
nobody
the
was
book.
being
I hope that didn't come across as negative.
or nothing was mean.
No.
It just happened to be like I saw part of one review, and then just this morning I was like, you know what? Oh, here's a real recent one. Let me. And then like the color like went out of my face. Like, oh no, are they gonna jump on? Are they gonna jump on Good Agent?
This is going to be so uncomfortable. Oh my gosh. Well, I will tell you this. I mean, when we came up with this show, I think that all four of us can agree that
Absolutely.
part of the point was to put good out into the world and try and help people. So, the fact that that's what you're trying to do with your book, I think there's a real synergy there just from, all of us are feeling the same thing. You put good out there. So yeah. And I hope that you can see even in that episode, how uncomfortable it was for us to be able to even say that we didn't enjoy it 100%.
And it was actually said in a very, very nice way. It was just funny to me that the next episode I saw was like, oh wait, they do this? Like, I'm not ready for that. I'm 22.
They don't love everything.
My
Squares
first
and the bad squares.
I don't know if my heart can do this.
Right? Good.
That's
man.
right.
Or,
That's
or
right.
as we call it, Seagull Review. We just come in, shit all over everything, and take off.
Which you didn't on that one.
No.
It was just funny that
No.
it was the very second one I saw.
Oh my gosh.
You got to start at the beginning.
That's hilarious.
All the way.
Wow.
Well, I think it was the most recent upload, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I hit it. I was like, all right, let's
It
let's
is.
catch
Yeah,
up with
yeah,
these
it's the most
guys.
one- yeah,
Oh.
Yeah, let's see what they're doing.
So, is it too late to cancel or you gonna change my name?
Yeah.
Let me
It's a rain
They've given up.
I tried to get a hold of Dan. Apparently he's in Kansas.
He has double COVID.
Yeah. Oh my double.
Yeah, right.
Oh my gosh. It looks like they gave up on the whole putting good out into the world.
They're just all talk, just like that Gene Siskel and Roger Ebert guy.
I know.
That's us.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, I mean, we spent more time laughing, but I feel like we did a good job of getting the information out about your book, and I'm going to definitely since your funding is moving forward,
yeah.
I'm going to make sure to move this one up in editing so we can get this out in time for you to help push you over that line. Anything we can do to help you, man.
And like I said,
we'll
I
do whatever
really
we
do.
can.
We love
It's not
having you.
like
So,
lip service.
this was-
I sincerely appreciate you all
for
making
sure.
space for me on your show.
I'm telling you, man, keep
It's
that.
very, very nice of you. Thank
We
you. I'm
we
very
appreciate you
grateful.
coming on.
No,
Yeah,
I mean,
thank you.
Thank you.
I told Ben that I was a delight,
Yeah,
that he
yeah.
was
tell
gonna
you
want
what.
that interview. So I hope. Ben said
No, we
like
did
I could
talk
do a
about-
I'm a
review, or
delight.
we can do an
People
interview.
love
I was like,
me.
you're gonna want that interview. You're gonna want that interview.
I think we just
You're
found the
gonna want it.
tagline
Oh, I
for the
like
show.
that.
Interview number 4, Dan the Delight.
The delight.
Delightful Dan.
Delight.
Dan,
Yes.
Dan, you did warn me there would be a lot of laughter.
Yeah, I
You
love
said-
it. I love it.
Even even on the other ones, it was like, it's an authoritarian government. Ha 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 ha. Like, it's like I just can't stop laughing.
Wait, you got to get this. They're
Dan.
taking away all
Oh, my
their
gosh.
rights.
Oh my god.
All right. Well,
Excellent.
well, this was
Yeah.
a lot of fun, Dan. Absolutely had a great
Thank
time.
you.
I
So
just want to
thank
tell
you so
everybody,
much
make
for
sure you
being
look
on
in
the
the
show.
look
Appreciate
in the
it.
description or the show notes and all that for the link to Dan's book, and so make sure you click on that link and get over there and back it.
All right. Well, that was just a ton of fun getting a chance to meet Dan. And, please hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell so that we can keep bringing you the content like this and introducing you to new artists. So we'll see you on the next one.